Democrats are doubling down on censorship. They apparently don't care even after the Biden White House got caught colluding with big tech to silence conservatives. Al Gore, the man who once took credit for creating the internet, calling for a more extreme crackdown on social media.
These algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum. But when people are pulled down these rabbit holes, you know what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? That's where the echo chamber is. And if you spend too much time in the echo chamber, what's weaponized is another form of AI, not artificial intelligence, artificial insanity.
Well, artificial insanity, Dana, coming from the guy who created the internet. Isn't it interesting, though, that there was a time when we used to argue the issues. Now we're arguing about what information people can access.
Yeah, I am not sure where I land on this because part of me feels like you can't stop progress. People have tried to stop technology in the past. It doesn't work that way. We're also very late to get to this issue, right? It's already out there. 45% of young people already get all of their news, all of it, on TikTok. Okay, so the idea of banning the social media, I understand the security reasons. I also understand the reasons that you might want to for people's mental health and just well-being. And wouldn't it be better if we could just go back to those days? I just don't know if we can go back to those days. Also, I'm concerned about who then is tweaking the algorithm. Like, is Washington, D.C. going to get involved and tweak the algorithm? Are they going to outsource that? So I understand that it's a gigantic problem. In the meantime, I do think one of the best ways to deal with content that is negative or against your point of view, whatever it is to provide alternate content that is as compelling and entertaining and interesting or humorous or whatever it might be in order to get those eyeballs to come down your rabbit hole and visit other rabbit holes. So maybe I feel just a little bit unsure right now where I am on it.
Okay. And, you know, Jessica, since 2020, apparently, Meta has known of the vulnerability of the teenage brain, that they can become very susceptible and be addicted. So that's the other side.
Well, that's what I thought Al Gore was talking about, like the whistleblower in the Facebook case, evidence that we have that algorithms can be discriminatory against women. For instance, Amazon's recruiting tool was found to have been discriminatory, especially in terms of STEM jobs, or the U.S. healthcare system actually was using an algorithm that was discriminatory against blacks. It was actually suppressing the needs of black patients and treating them the same as white patients. And there are key differences there. So that's a worthy cause, I think, for Al Gore to be talking about. And I think it's things that we're all concerned about ourselves. You know, you can get annoyed, right? I keep getting served the same dress from Saks or whatever. Like, that's annoying. But if you're a 13-year-old girl who struggles with their weight and you continue to get served pictures of anorexic girls that make you think that you should be a certain way, it's leading to not only need for psychiatric help, people killing themselves. And I think Gore was making a good point about it.
Where do you come down, Jesse?
I think after he lost the election, he lost his mind because he had no problem with the algorithms when they were sending him down Democrat rabbit holes like collusion and the world's going to end in 12 years. This is about Musk. This is about when Musk took over and Al Gore goes on Twitter and says we're all going to die from rain bombs, and he gets community noted or whatever. And so now he needs to reform democracy and capitalism. He's going to take a little time off from saving the world, and he's going to reform democracy and capitalism. The man is psychologically obsessed with control. All Democrats are. They have to control Twitter or everyone dies. They have to control the White House. They have to control what car I drive, what health care I have. Imagine dating a Democrat. When are you coming home? Pour that drink out. I mean, God, they don't want a relationship with the voters. They want ownership.
Greg, is it true?
Yeah, well, it's weird that Al Gore wants to ban algorithms.
Ooh.
I'm confused here. Are we defending TikTok now? Because we thought it was the worst thing in the world like 6 months ago. Are they advertising or something? I don't understand
I
this.
hope so.
I mean, no, honestly, I mean, he's got an argument for this. It's not about data capture. It's about brain capture. It's about kids. The evidence is there. We're seeing a rise in mental illness, mainly driven by pernicious ideas on social media. When you see the TikTok videos, what do you see? You see that the deranged all look the same. Wild-eyed, emotionally incontinent. They have the fervor of activists, and they're either mocking the sexual atrocities or they're boasting of indoctrinating your kids. It feels like when you're looking at TikTok that it's a psyop. The problem is, I don't like the messages, and is that why I don't want it around? What if I like the messages? What if suddenly TikTok encouraged American patriotism or encouraged STEM education or encouraged, doing the Pledge of Allegiance? Would I change my mind? I think maybe I will, but I haven't seen that because that doesn't exist. So the answer really is capturing TikTok, exposing the psyop. What X did, what Elon Musk did with community notes, effectively remove the stranglehold that the left had on fake news. Those community notes are doing a lot of heavy lifting. China polices TikTok in their own country so their kids don't get poisoned, but our kids are. We should be able to figure out a way, and I think we will. Research shows that young people would pay to get rid of social media if all the kids abided by it. But if they don't, they won't. So basically, they're only doing social media as mutually assured destruction. Think about that. Think about what we have allowed into our country. It is a psyop. I'm agreeing with Al Gore.
Okay.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.